Right then, welcome back to the channel. In what's been a largely positive pre-season overall for Manchester United, I think one player in particular stood out and has improved massively from what we saw from him last season, and that player is Patrick Dorgu. Now, last season, Dorgu came in. We saw some good physicality for him. We saw some good energy for him, but he was criticised by sections of the fan base for certain aspects of his game, which looked like they needed a little bit more work and a little bit more polish. That criticism looks like it's either been taken heed of or was unfair now, because even though he only signed from Lecce back in, well, February technically, for not a lot of money, he's primarily developed and been deployed as a left wing back in Amorim's 3-4-3 system, and we've always been aware of the versatility that he offers. At Lecce, he played as a left back, a left winger, a right back, a right winger, and on the tour we got to see that attacking side of his game a lot more. And the flexibility of his game was putting him firmly into Amorim's plans, but also in the eye of the fans by going, I tell you what, he looks pretty good at the moment. Now, the question will remain, is that a flash in the pan? Is it a bit of, he came into the tour more prepared and we just saw him playing against players he was a little bit more physically ahead of? Or are we actually seeing the real Patrick Dorgu? Now, he featured prominently. Very much a clear first choice. He was a standout in the win against Bournemouth, where we saw an assist for Rasmus Højlund's opening goal, and then he scored United's second with a nice low finish after a quick free kick from Mason Mount. The energy's always been there. The attacking runs down that left flank have always been there, and we see him consistently looking to try and cross the ball. We saw that last season, but the final ball and the quality was perhaps lacking. On tour, that changed. The final ball was there. The quality was there. The flair was starting to emerge. The confidence was starting to emerge.
We're in August. Time is absolutely flying, and this year is absolutely flying. But here's the thing, just because the year is more than half over doesn't mean that your goals have to be. In fact, why not start now? Why not make this the month where you finally take back control of that one thing that you've been meaning to quit? You know the one, whatever it is that you're struggling with, that you're dealing with, that is where Fume comes in. This little thing, right? This tiny little thing right here. It's not a vape, it's not a gimmick, it's just a powerful, natural tool for real change. There is no nicotine, there is no vapor, there are no batteries, just clean, flavored air in a product that is designed to help you break free from whatever it is that you're struggling with. You've got flavors like cinnamon hearts, like licorice, you've got a really refreshing spearmint, and that turns whatever it is that you're trying to do into a sensory experience that just feels good. You get flavour in your mouth and not in your lungs. And you can use it anywhere, anytime, on a plane if you wanted to, because it's just a tube. It's a bit of wood, it's a bit of metal with some sort of flavour inside. That's it. And more than that, it keeps your hands engaged. You've got something in your hand that you can use that can take your mind away from it a little bit. It's going to occupy you, and it's not passive. Like you feel like you're doing something any time that you reach from it. And there's over 500,000 people that have already got involved. Real people are seeing change and progress over excuses. So if you're ready to turn the page, to finish 2025 stronger than you started, this is your chance to sign up. If you use the code Stephen Howson, that's STEPHEN Howson, HOWSON, at tryfume.com, you're going to get a free Fume topper with the journey pack. That's tryfum.com, or scan the QR code that is on screen right now. Do not wait for January to make a change. Take the win now with Fume.
Now, I thought Dorgu's pre-season performances could be indicative of a player that is adapting to the system. He's learnt it, maybe. Maybe he's understanding his role both in the transition and the press and when we have the ball. Maybe there's more to it than individual improvement. Maybe Matheus Cunha, maybe the movement of him meshes really well with Dorgu. Maybe the players that have played behind him understand him a little better. I thought Cunha, I thought the two of those combined real nice to open defences up. And as they play more, you could see that partnership only strengthen. Maybe another reflection of why Garnacho wasn't quite doing it for us. Cunha's the real deal in terms of the quality of the footballer and the brain. Cunha and Garnacho not really, even comparable. Amorim does have a history of developing wing backs, and that I think bodes really well for Dorgu's growth. Quenda especially is an absolute blueprint for what Dorgu could become. But I would like to recognise that we saw a levelling up of a player in Patrick Dorgu. I thought Yoro was a standout on a tour. I thought he was probably our most consistent footballer. He looked a level above everybody. But I think what we saw from Patrick Dorgu, a real successful pre-season. He's obviously come into this conditioned. I mean, we know he's the strength and conditioning coach that he works with, and we know that he gets absolutely thrashed by him. He came into this looking very conditioned. The club have obviously been putting in some conditioning, but he came into pre-season looking confident. You know, he's thick in his upper body. He looks in fantastic shape. He's come into this maybe a little bit more settled than, coming into the shit show chaos of last season. And he's taken to the field, linked up well with the new signings, dropped inside, opened defences up himself, creating chances, scoring chances. Fucking hell. If he delivers that in the season, it will be an individually successful season, but it will be impactful for United. Possibly because of the lack of movement from Rasmus Højlund, but I thought early when he came in, he was putting crosses in that weren't getting found. He was trying stuff. He was beating his man. He was getting to the byline, and he was putting stuff in left foot. He was doing that, and I was like, this feels like it's going to yield at some feels like this is going to be impactful for us at some point. If not right now, it looks like we're going to be able to get something out of him doing this as we go forward. And I think with Mbeumo and Sesko especially, the size of that fucker, and Cunha, I think that there's so many more targets for him to aim for once he hits that byline and crosses it in. He's got to nail the transition side, because United are temptingly looking like a very, very front foot offensive team. We might see a lot of 3-4, 4-3 games this year. It might be fucking mayhem. I wouldn't expect us to be clean sheet city. We're not going to pack people behind the ball. We're going to go for it. And when it works, it's going to be irresistible. And when it doesn't, it's going to be a fucking nightmare. I think if it's Ahmad and Dorgu that as your first choice wing back, which I think it will be, it's very, very, very offensive. It's very offensive. And it's only the fact that Dorgu's got a little bit more defensive minded that it's not essentially two wingers, with three more attackers in between them. But that's the shape that we want to play. Amorim wants to go with a back three, 2 pivots, and then 5 attacking offensive players. It's just that whoever it is that plays in those wing-back roles is going to be required to be part of a back 5 and a forward 5 with about 3 seconds difference between both of those situations. So it's a lot of work for him to do and a lot of ground for him to cover. Physically, he looks up to it. Technically, he's looked better. But, that Arsenal game looms near, and we will know if he's levelled up truly or if it was a little bit of pre-season, maybe being a little bit sharper than the opposition. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Was you impressed with Dorgu? That 6-month settling in period, have we almost seen like a little bit of a Paddy Evra moment from him? Where the first 6 months you was kind of like, not 100% sure on him. And then the start of his first proper season, you go, oh shit, wow, no, this kid's the real deal. Because if he's anything like Paddy Evra, fucking hell, we're in for a treat, aren't we? Because what a player he was. There's a high bar I know. But, a boy can dream. With what's just happened this week, a boy is allowed to dream, all right? Unapologetically so. I'm not going to say 21 is coming yet. If we sign Belabor, I might start saying some shit that gets clipped up, all right? Either way, take it easy. Let me know what you think about Dorgu. See you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.